it really embeds such great values from the get-go. I was a Girl Scout, my mom was a troop leader, and I think the value of friendship, of being dedicated to a goal, as you see that in Cookie Queens, it is so reflective of how these girls stick with something that's important to them and don't give up. And self-belief, I think, is a really integral value that comes to being a Girl Scout.
Other question, you have a young daughter, she's maybe a little bit too young for Scouts at this point. Do you want Lilibet to be part of Girl Scout?
It's interesting, I think we'll continue to explore whatever feels right, but Alyssa's also a mom of a daughter, and I think for both of us who are part of this project, it's been incredibly special as parents, as mothers, to be able to see something that our girls will be able to watch and enjoy as well.
Yeah, in fact, the film began with my kids asking me to make a film that they would really want to share with their friends. And then understanding that Girl Scout cookies was a way into looking at girlhood and coming of age in ways that both kids and adults will really relate to. So I'm so excited to share that with the world.
We see Olive sold 12,000 boxes. What was your record for selling boxes?
I don't remember, and it certainly was not 12,000, but I think I did pretty well.
And what was your pitch like when you had to sell cookies?
We didn't have the same perks and leverage of using social media or Venmo or QR codes as the girls do these days. It was really just about a charm and a smile, and who doesn't love a Girl Scout cookie? So it's a pretty easy sell.
Oh, speaking of, what's your favorite cookie?
I think universally, Thin Mints is probably most people's favorite.
Well, and as you know, I do love a Thin Mint, but the sleeper hit for me was the lemonades. And if you haven't tried them, I very much recommend them. For sure.
Harry's favorite cookie? Does he eat Girl Scout cookies?
He does. And he likes, he was saying the other day, the trefoils, like the shortbread cookie ones, and he loves Samoas.
I want to invite a very special guest on stage. Can you please join me in welcoming Meghan, Duchess of Sussex?
Yet, when Prince Harry exercises the same fundamental right, a right that belongs to every human being.
Thank you guys so much for being here bright and early. I know some of you probably had late nights last night, so extra thanks for the effort. Nothing that little cookies and coffee can't help. Look, my husband and I and Artful Productions, we are so proud and privileged to be able to support and uplift Cookie Queens. This film, yes, is probably the cutest at the festival, but I'm also going to go out on a limb and say it is one of the most powerful and meaningful depictions of something that is an American tradition and rooted in nostalgia, but is now through this lens from the incredible creative vision of Alyssa to show something modernized about the girlhood experience and all the layers and complexity that come with that. So yes, it's cute, and yes, these young ladies are fantastic and adorable, but they are also layered, beautiful girls who are about to become very strong leaders and young women. So thank you for supporting that. A huge thanks to our team at Artful Productions, Chanel, Wesley, Q, we love you guys, thank you so much for everything. Josh Braun, Maggie Pisacane, and then of course the producers. This film is such a labor of love they have worked on for a couple of years, and with all of the hundreds of hours of trusted, fly-on-the-wall material that they were able to capture with these families that let them in and allowed them to show and share their lives and their loves. I think the editorial in this that you'll see is also something pretty outstanding. But that is all testament to the talent and expertise of the director, Alyssa Namias, who is here today, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you. Please give her a big round of applause.
It's as though the concept of accountability, of simply wanting wrongs made right, is too straightforward an explanation to be believed. Justice as its own endgame. Why Prince Harry's court action needs no further justification. The ongoing nature of phone hacking. While the specific instances of phone hacking may be historical, the broader culture of media misconduct that enabled such violations persists to this day. The argument that it happened so long ago, or they're not doing it anymore, fundamentally misunderstands the purpose of accountability. Holding institutions to account for past actions isn't merely about punishment. It's about establishing precedent and deterring future violations. Legal action serves as a powerful deterrent to continued unethical practices, sending an unmistakable message that there's no statute of limitations on institutional wrongdoing and that those who abuse their power will eventually face consequences. When we allow past misconduct to go unchallenged simply because time has passed, we effectively grant permission for similar abuses to continue under different guises, whether that's through new technologies or simply more sophisticated methods of intrusion. Justice delayed shouldn't mean justice abandoned, and the notion that someone should forfeit their right to accountability because the violation wasn't prosecuted immediately is a dangerous precedent that protects powerful institutions at the expense of individuals who were harmed. The royal family's established legal tradition. The royal family has previously taken legal action against newspapers. This isn't some unprecedented tantrum or rogue mission. Prince Harry's lawsuits follow an established pattern of protecting family interests, a tradition the institution itself has long employed when its members have been wronged. His actions are consistent with how the institution has historically defended itself against media overreach and unlawful practices. So why is it that when Harry does exactly what the royal family has done before, suddenly there's pearl-clutching and endless questions about his motives? Anyone would think the same action becomes somehow illegitimate simply because the one doing it. The precedent exists. The institution set it. Harry's following it. But apparently, when it's him, the rules change and the questions multiply. The double standard applied to Prince Harry's pursuit of justice. Anyone would think Prince Harry is being singled out and dehumanized while expecting him to just take all kinds of wrongs against him by bad people, institutions and empires. The fundamental issue here is that Harry is being held to an entirely different standard than any ordinary citizen would be in identical legal circumstances. When a regular person discovers evidence of crimes committed against them decades ago, society rallies behind their right to seek redress. No one questions their motivations or demands to know their endgame before they're allowed to proceed. Yet, when Prince Harry does precisely the same thing, suddenly there's this bizarre expectation that he should simply absorb the violations, shrug off the illegality, and move on without recourse. The constant media scrutiny of his motivations, the endless questioning of why he's doing this, what he hopes to achieve, whether it's really worth it, reflects a broader societal bias that treats him not as a human being entitled to justice, but as some sort of public property who forfeited his basic rights the moment he was born into royalty. It's a dehumanizing double standard that essentially argues, you're a prince, so you should just accept being wronged. Justice needs no ulterior motive. Justice and accountability should be sufficient motivation for legal action. Why is this such a difficult concept to grasp when the plaintiff happens to be Prince Harry? Exposing institutional wrongdoing serves the public interest, not just the individuals. And when those institutions have operated with impunity for decades, somebody needs to stand up and say enough. Holding powerful institutions responsible protects vulnerable individuals who don't have the platform, resources, or frankly the sheer bloody-mindedness to take on empires like News Corp or Associated Newspapers. When we question Harry's endgame, as if seeking justice is some sort of suspicious activity requiring hidden agendas, we're essentially saying that accountability itself isn't a valid goal, that there must be something else, something shadowy, something we can critique him for. But here's the thing. If your neighbour discovered evidence that someone had broken into their home 20 years ago, would you sit there asking, "But what's your endgame, though?" No, you'd support their right to justice. The fact that Harry is a prince shouldn't disqualify him from that same basic human right to hold wrongdoers accountable. The power dynamics at play newspapers and media empires wield significant power over public perception, shaping narratives and influencing how millions of people think about individuals, events, and institutions. These are not small operations. They are massive entities with the resources, reach, and infrastructure to dominate public discourse. When such powerful institutions engage in misconduct, legal action is one of the few mechanisms available to everyday people, and yes, even princes, to challenge their behavior and demand accountability. Without the ability to pursue justice through the courts, how exactly are individuals supposed to hold these powerful entities accountable? Are we meant to just accept that media empires can break the law, invade privacy, and destroy lives without consequence simply because they're too big or too influential? The suggestion that someone shouldn't pursue legal action because it won't change anything essentially grants immunity to institutional wrongdoing. If individuals, regardless of their status, cannot challenge these powerful forces when they have evidence of criminality, then we're accepting a world where might makes right, and where empires operate above the law. Justice should not be reserved for the common man. Alone access to justice is a cornerstone of democratic society, a principle that applies regardless of wealth, status, or birth. No person should be expected to accept systematic wrongdoing against them simply because time has passed, or because seeking accountability might be deemed inconvenient for powerful institutions. Prince Harry's pursuit of legal remedies is a legitimate exercise of his rights, the same rights afforded to any citizen who discovers evidence of crimes committed against them, whether that discovery comes immediately or decades later. When a common person uncovers proof of unlawful acts from 20 years ago, society rightly supports their quest for justice. Yet when a prince does the same, suddenly questions emerge about endgames and motivations, as though his royal status somehow disqualifies him from the fundamental protections that underpin our legal system. This double standard reveals an uncomfortable truth, that some expect Harry to be dehumanized, to accept wrongs perpetrated against him by bad actors and powerful empires, to quietly absorb systematic abuses that would outrage us if inflicted upon anyone else.